What up, fam? What's going on? All right, so right off the bat, when I hit play, first of all, I messed up that window. I got a lot to learn. You know what I mean? Got a lot to learn. Done a bunch of stuff with global flows. You haven't seen our live streams; those are pretty dialed. But doing something new. I'm not a technical dude, and it is what it is. So I have a simple setup here. I think I have the chat working. If you guys don't mind, slap something in the chat wherever you are, whether it's X or YouTube. And let me see if it's streaming on this screen here. Let me know if you can hear me, all that jazz. If I'm too loud, if I'm too soft. But I'd like to say that right when I hit that play button, Bitcoin, for all you Bitcoin lovers, popped up right near 65K. So let's see if by the end of this stream, we could get Bitcoin above, let's be optimistic, 66,400. That'd be kind of nice. You know what I'm saying? That would be nice. I see some of the chat rolling in. So here's what I want to do with this. Basically, I want to get streaming more where, I don't know if you guys have ever been on YouTube where you see those like work with me videos, you know? There's literally an entire niche of people that create a nice environment, a work setting, whatever it may be. And they just lock the fuck in and they play some nice music. They don't talk. They just sit there for 2 hours, 3 hours. And it's like you're working alongside of them. And I'll be honest, I watch some of that stuff. They get some nice beats on there. They play some nice music. It's a vibe. And some bro in Ohio or wherever the hell he's streaming from, I'm just like quote unquote working with him. And I just figured I'd like that in a trading sense. You know? I want that in a trading sense. I want to feel as if I'm on the trading floor. I spent a decade on the trading floor. So why not recreate that in a trading sense? Now, of course, I'm going to talk. I'm not going to talk. That I'll talk again. That I won't talk again. I'll answer questions. I might just go trade for 30 minutes. You know what I'm saying? And it is what it is. So if that's something you like, cool. If not, feel free to kick rocks. You know, feel free to tell me about what you are looking at. One thing that I specialize in is kind of going across the board. You know, I trade futures, I trade stocks, I trade crypto, I trade shit coins. I trade options very poorly. I do a little bit of everything. Perps. I really would love 24/7 fully legal perps in America. Like, I just love perps. I think they're so great. I feel like they had their moment, but since, basically it's not really allowed, there's not that much, given to the Americans so far that we can't really push it. We can't really actively trade them, although I think it's the coolest thing. I just find it super frustrating that somebody in like Estonia could trade Apple stock on a Saturday morning and I can't. What are we doing? What are we doing? You know what I mean? Unbuilt, I see you out there, man. What's up? Gold trade walkthrough was ace. Yeah, that was... Dude, that's the type of stuff I love. That's trading edge. That's trading art. That's the stuff that we'll find more of. That's what I spent all my time doing. I just enjoy that a lot. I do enjoy the like fundamental breakdown of stuff, right? But there's something about the scalping the order books that's just like so nice when it works. When it doesn't work, it could get crazy. So let's see. AC33, could we take a look at the 9:30 a.m. candle on NQ? Yeah. All right, so yeah, we'll talk about that. We'll dive into it a little bit. So one thing I gotta do here, by the way, is I'm working on some stuff where I'll be able to bring out a pop over here real quick. I'm working on the layout here, guys, so give me a break. Still trying to kind of, let me actually adjust this chat a little bit. There we go. I think that looks a little better. Cut it off there. So you have to bear with me for the first few days as I kind of adjust everything, you know? Give me a break. So, I have this thing here where I have some futures market, stocks, crypto, whatever. Trying to dial that in. And calendar here, I'm going to have, we'd be able to walk through, what this is one thing is like nobody really does enough. Like, unless you're a professional, like nobody really knows catalysts that are coming. Now, do I think earnings or CPI or PPI or some random Fed minutes or the QRA is the be all end all of trading? No, I don't. However, you do need to know, like if you're in a trade, maybe you're in a short-term trade or whatever, is there any upcoming catalyst and what could it mean for your position? Do you want to be long or short into that? Do you want to be positioning after? Do you even know it's coming? So it's always good to go through the economic calendar for the week to see what's coming, right? So like today we got housing starts, import export prices, industrial capacity, Home Depot earnings, blah, blah, blah. Nothing really going on today. Tomorrow we got the minutes. You got some more earnings, UK CPI. Looking through the week, honestly, it's a pretty slow week, right? That's something if you're not doing it, I'll walk through it too to make sure like we're always dialed in. But like if you're not doing it, you're hurting yourself, right? So yeah, and I gotta kind of play with all this stuff and we'll work on it. But one thing I want to be able to do here is like if you come in, you're just wondering what's going on in markets. That's generally something I feel like I'm pretty good at. I'm pretty knowledgeable about just like what is going on. What are people talking about? What's moving? Generally, like why is it moving? And how do we then approach taking risk there? Like should we or should we not? If you've looked at any of my content before, you'll know that like I'm big into the archetype stuff. Like you should be figuring out who you are as a trader, what you're at, where your edge lies, and leaning into that rather than trying to like be somebody else or only work on your weaknesses or whatever. Most people are just not taking advantage of their strengths as much as they should. Every once in a while, guys, I'm going to do this. Okay. So you might just catch me over there trading for a bit. Catch me outside. How about that? That's an old meme. That's an old meme. Anyways, how you guys doing? Unbuilt. Yeah, I don't understand the US inability to trade 24/5, never mind 24/7. Yeah, this is just our government and all that is great for a lot of reasons, but it sucks for a lot of reasons. You know what I mean? I saw this clip yesterday. Maybe I could play this clip. Let me see if I could find it. Hold on. Let me know if you could hear this clip while I play it. Where are you? There was a clip with Vlad from Lighter yesterday that was pretty great, talking about how I'll try to find it at some point, but they were trying to talk about how Lighter is actually really in a good place for, they haven't passed clarity, but they've been like teasing this innovation project. This like innovation project with the administration about like I don't remember the word, a special innovation exemption or whatever for certain things in crypto. And I don't know what that means, but Vlad kind of was hinting at the fact that Lighter is maybe in a great position to be one of the first to benefit from that. And if so, I expect Lighter as a coil, as an ecosystem to really pop off. Oh, okay, here it is. So I don't know if you could hear that. Let me know if you could hear that. I'm gonna guess no. Second here. Let's see if that worked. Hold on a second.
Perps are already here. Next step will be decentralized perps, kind of the perp deck space. I mean, right now, no one has a license for that. We are well on our way in that process. We feel very good about that. And we think the technical choices we've made at Lighter make it easier to comply with a lot of these rules. I've been very impressed by the leadership and kind of the team at CFTC that's really been operating, looking at innovation while still keeping true to the core principles. Centralized.
You guys heard that, right? Let me know if you heard that. I think that worked. Yeah, so that guy is the creator of Lighter. If you haven't gone and listened to his podcast on the roll up, it's well worth your time. If you don't know what Lighter is, it's basically like Hyperliquid, but kind of built on Ethereum. And it just they've partnered with Robinhood, by the way, and it just seems like they're behind in a sense, right? Liquidity, activity, open interest, all that stuff, available products, Trade XYZ is not with them, blah blah blah. But they do seem to have this insider route that could pave their way to something really interesting. And if you go and look, let's go look at the Lighter. This is how I spent my day, guys. Let's go Twitter, charting, trading, Twitter, charting, trading, Twitter, chart, trading. And then sometimes I speak into a mic like an idiot. You know what I mean? But if you go look at this Lighter chart, I mean, come on, guys. Take a sip of that coffee. You know what I'm saying? Take a sip of that coffee. I mean, let me know what you guys think about that chart. That is spicy. If they get an exemption and Lighter kind of goes at the front of that and Robinhood continues to take off, maybe perps are man. I mean, the real kicker would be if Lighter got some sort of exemption and Hyperliquid didn't, By the way, Quirk, I see you out there. Love the Penn State hat during their massive Coke ring bust. Yeah, so my kid is starting flag football this year, and their team is Penn State. Unfortunately, Clemson was taken. I wanted Clemson, so. But anyways, this Lighter chart actually reminds me of Hood before it went on an absolutely astronomical run back in the day. Let me get this off here. I remember this chart like it was yesterday. They had from 2021 its big run, and then it just died back to like $10. And this thing just started breaking out. I mean, you have these couple situations here where you could play. I remember buying down here. I had $20 calls at one point, and it just started absolutely sun running. And then we had another push as Robinhood just kind of took over again and made all sorts of changes. And then they had this huge pullback. 60% pullback from 150. I mean, that's pretty wild, but looks constructive from here, to be honest. So that's something to think about. By the way, guys, let me know if you could hear the music very low key and if it's bothersome or not. If it's bothersome, you know, I could always turn it off. Okay, so let's see, where was that question again? AC. All right, AC. Good morning. Could we take a look at the 9:30 a.m. candle on NQ? Triggered a bad habit I'm breaking. I think there was a big order block there. How can I track historical order book data? 9:30 NQ. I could almost guarantee you there wasn't some big order block in NQ. Never really is, especially after the open. 9:30. What time zone are you on? Because I'm on Pacific time. So let me know what time zone you're on, AC. But if you mean 6:30, like if you mean on the open, either way, this is why you need to have, if you're going to use an order book or whatever, you got to have it up like already. You can't, you can don't do backtracking. Go have it up at all times. I have them up at all times. You know what I mean? That way you can investigate right away. Book maps would probably be your best friend for going to find like historical stuff. I know there are a couple guys out here in the chat that have used book maps historically. I think I don't like the product personally, but I think a lot of people do. It's just too much for me. There's too much going on. Like you might look at my stuff, right? Like you might look at this and be like, wow, there's a lot going on your computer, right? Oh shit, hang on a sec. So if you're on the Global Flows live stream yesterday, you'll know that we talked through this gold spot in the order books. That was pretty cool. And this is a good example here of where we're at in gold, where like I didn't want to hold overnight. I didn't really know it was going to come the next day. And sure enough, we've had quite a bit of up and down movement in gold, and which is fine. You still find edge in there, but I did not want to be holding a long in gold just for shits and giggles. Okay, so it looks like there's some Middle Eastern stuff picking up again. Dubai explosions. If you don't have a squawk too, like you're in in a time where it's like catalyst after catalyst with Trump and the Middle Eastern stuff, like you're doing yourself a disservice to not have some sort of squawk service to help you out. And unbuilt, yeah, I find it helpful to have bits of information like this useful to settle into the day with, to be cognizant of, when looking at markets. Yeah, I try to do that too. I try to synthesize. That's like my best skill set is taking in a lot of different information, synthesizing it, and figuring out how to distill that. I feel like I'm a distillery. I'm just a distillery. Bring a lot of stuff in, distill it down to usable stuff. All right, Francis, thanks. I want the music to be very soft just because it's crazy. What's up, Mist? Yeah, you see, I would go look at book mapping or whatever on your own. There's a lot of YouTube videos about it. You can probably try it for free or something. You know, I don't know all of the other products that are good for order books, but there's plenty of them out there. If you want like a professional level one, you could go to Trading Technologies, TT, and they'll be an option for you. That's going to take a lot of time, a lot of money, but it might be your best bet if that's the route you really, truly want to go. Yeah, Rosenthal Distilleries. So let me pop over to some of my bookmarks and see what else we have going on here. Walk through some of that, walk through some price action, and then I'm probably just going to trade for a little while. So this is a good example of Hyperliquid. Like they just got iron on there, 10x leverage on iron with perps, like 24/7. Like all this stuff is so important, like unbelievable how we can't access that. But with all the weekend news, the ons, the offs, like I want to be able to adjust positions or hedge or do whatever I need to do. I can't, fortunately, allegedly. Oh yeah, so President Xi is gonna be visiting us in September. That should be interesting. One of my like big guesses is that Trump wants to improve. He wants to leave a legacy of like improving relations with China. That's my guess. I know there's lots of problems with China, but I feel like he wants to be known for legacy of peace or whatever. So I actually think relations with China will improve over time rather than get worse. But we'll see. AI has thrown a big wrench into that. You know, there's a lot of rare earths and energy concerns and IP and who's winning the race and blah, blah, blah. Hold on. There's action out there today, boys. Okay, so yeah, big sell off there for sure. Lots of action. That's the stuff I love to see. Anyways, gonna pop back over here. So yeah, when it comes to strategy, I don't know if any of you guys pay attention to MicroStrategy or whatever. It's been a really interesting time for Bitcoin in general, and strategy and kind of stress in that ecosystem. They've been issuing shares, right? They've been diluting the stock for a long time. 5 years pretty aggressively now, and seemingly even more aggressively in the recent times, because they've had a problem keeping their preferred stocks pegged to the price they want. So they've been having to raise a cash reserve. Let's go to their website. So you could see that they have 840,000 Bitcoin. They have $5.9 billion now in their reserve to help alleviate the credit stress that was coming for all of their preferred products like Stretch, Stride, Strike, Strife. Let's see, what is their stock price is down infinite. 1 year return is down 74%. And they're barely hanging on to the ability to say that they're outperforming Bitcoin over a long period of time, because it used to be by a lot. And now it's barely. And that's if you bought it at like the proper time, you know? They're kind of talking about it from like the ideal point. And most people that bought in were buying it 500, 400, 300, 200, 100. And now the stock is at $95. Now, look, I personally kind of like strategy just for a lot of like reasons, but I have to admit my tune has changed on how they've operated and how they've told their story. And oof. So in their preferreds, they have 15 billion worth of debt, but they have a cash reserve of $5.9 billion. They have 840,000 Bitcoin on their balance sheet. Their market cap is 38 billion. So yes, do they have credit out there that they need to pay? Sure. They have, I think, 6.7 billion in the preferred debt, or not the preferreds, the debt that they structured a long time ago. Once that's gone, it's just going to be the preferreds like Stretch and the others. And then those are monthly and quarterly dividends, right? So it's not like they owe that all at once or something like that. So I expect their credit to survive and finally do okay. But if you go and you look at their products, so we could go check those out. So first of all, here's strategy. All right, you could see that they've been getting absolutely pummeled. Now, you could argue here like, hey, if you did want to take a very contrarian bet, right, and you did believe in kind of what they're trying to do with Stretch and how they go about their business, if you did, you could pretty much argue that the risk reward here is pretty insane, especially if Bitcoin, if Bitcoin can survive this next dump, right? Because everybody is expecting this into October, November, and that'll be the bear market lows. Now, that could very well happen because the 4-year cycle bros are out there. They think we're going to dump here. And look, we're in a bear market, and bulls have not proven that they're going to be wrong. Right? We've had these attempts at recovery, and they just have failed. They've all basically not crossed over the 200-day moving average and just failed, and then broke down even more. So I think you could argue, I think the argument's much better now for that. And to be honest, hold on a second. You'll have to bear with me as I break off. So strategy, if Bitcoin can recover here, and like, it's showing some reasonable strength in the face of market weakness today. It's pretty nice. But if we could break up, you could take out that 200-day moving average, get above this resistance zone of 67, 67, 68, and it closes there for a week. Like, I think you have a very fast Bitcoin move to the upside, at least into the 80s. Maybe upper 70s, mid to upper 70s, I think for sure. And then for there, I think you're going to see MSTR break out of this range and kind of head up and start to befuddle people. I think that'll get stretched back to 100 for them. I think you'll see their There are other preferreds, catch a bid. Now, some of these are really interesting to me. Like Strike's really interesting to me because this is an 8% preferred, but it also has like a built-in strategy, like MSTR portion of like 30% or so, I believe. So you have like a kicker. So you have like, that's why it's a little more volatile, right? Is because when strategy goes up, this does better. And then when it goes down, it does worse. But it also has the 8% dividend. But it's also trading at a discount. So you could go over to the Strike dashboard here. And you can see that the effective yield is more like 12%, given that it's down so much. So you could have it gets paid its dividend off $100 par value, but right now the price is at 68. So you have the potential capital gain, the dividend, the potential Bitcoin breakout, the potential strategy move, and if that happens, I think Strike is interesting. I own a little bit of it, just because it's a tax efficient dividend, and if you could get on sides and have the credit stress alleviated a little bit and Bitcoin can move, this is one of those positions that you could get into. It could potentially go up, create a capital gain for you while getting paid dividends quarterly at a huge discount. Again, you got to kind of believe that the strategy ecosystem will be okay in the end. But Strike to me is the most interesting out of all of these, because MSTR is probably still going to get bludgeoned over time with dilution. So I want a little bit of that exposure. That's fine. I don't want stretch. I don't want stride. Stride's interesting, but Strike to me is the ultimate one because it has this like huge call option that you kind of get paid for, where it's like a conversion. If MSTR common stock ever gets to $1,000, you're actually able to convert Strike into common stock if you wanted to, or you could kind of keep it in the dividend player, whatever. Strife is also somewhat interesting, but only trading at a slight discount, but offers you 10%, and that's the highest in their capital structure. It's the most senior. So anyways, I find the strategy ecosystem somewhat interesting. Okay. So yeah, by the way, guys, if you have any tickers or anything like that, let me know. I'm definitely willing to always explore what you guys are thinking, looking at. All right. So I'll stick in the crypto ecosystem right now just because it looks a bit interesting. So, all right, let's just say Bitcoin could go on a little bit of a tear. Well, crypto has been hated for quite some time. Despised, you could say. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Everybody wants to trade SanDisk and Micron now. Because at the moment, everybody is an AI 5-layer cake professional, right? Right? You're all pros. Oh, nice. Huh? Now, if Bitcoin can break that, I think you're going to see an ecosystem-wide pump for at least a week or two. I mean, everywhere. Dinosaur coins, coins with shitty tokenomics, coins everybody hates. You might even see Ripple, Cardano, Chainlink. You might see all of these things go, because I think there's going to be a rebirth, at least for a week or two. You're going to see everything move, and you're going to see all the pundits come back, the KOLs come back and say, we're finally back in the bull market. And they might be right. So it's like, I'm already thinking to myself, if Bitcoin were to break, all right, I got my strategy plan. What else do I like? I like the Hype token a lot, right? But Hype has already been performing like really well. Just in general, even in the face of Bitcoin, it's been basically outperforming Bitcoin for a long time. If we go look at the Bitcoin Hype, see here, Bitcoin Hype. Wow, do I not have it there? I used to look at this all the time. Hold on a second. Hype. Add BTC. All right. So you can kind of get an idea here. All right. So over time, Hype has outperformed Bitcoin quite well. And no other coins can really, to be honest, say that, right? It's like just very rare. It's not how it works. So what I find interesting is Ethereum. Now, I don't like Ethereum. Okay. I despise Ethereum. And you know what else? A lot of people despise Ethereum. But a lot of things are built on Ethereum. A lot of things are still connected. It seems as if the banks and all the big boys and the suits have kind of co-signed with stablecoins running more or less on EVM rails or ETH rails. So I think ETH could have a moment. And it might actually be something that outperforms for a while. So if we go look at ETH BTC, it gets really interesting. Right? Sitting on the 200-day. Down channel is broken now. If Bitcoin goes, I think ETH is going to have a moment. Now, I am not that exposed to ETH, but I am exposed to some things that are ETH adjacent, right? Lighter, we already talked about. I actually think Pepe is a really interesting play for me. I've been trying to build a Pepe position, but I'm in, I'm out, I'm in, I'm out. So that's something I'm watching closely because this has just gotten murked. But a lot of people look for beta, right? Like, so they don't want to necessarily own ETH. What are the things they want to own that could have ETH exposure without having to risk as much money? These channels were really interesting to me. I was kind of waiting for a break here, and they just broke it down. So this is one of those spots where if you have an ecosystem-wide pump and you see meme coins move and Ethereum move, it's going to be one of those spots where I think something like Pepe or like SHIB or Dogecoin or all these older things, they're going to have a moment themselves, right? Dogecoin here too. I love meme coins, so you could hate on me all you want, but they're another trading vehicle, you know? BTC falling off like classmates in the 20th year reunion. Yeah. Do you think an ecosystem-wide momentum shift is needed for BTC to rally rather than it being able to move on its own? No, I think BTC needs to move on its own to create an ecosystem-wide momentum shift. Otherwise, nobody's going to step in there and do it. Everybody hates crypto. And all the people that stuck around, they're all broke because most of them aren't good traders with terrible bankroll management. And they've all lost all their money because they've kept betting. Like, they haven't been buying Bitcoin. They don't buy Bitcoin. They buy alts. They buy shitcoins. They buy everything adjacent to that, and they've all gotten wrecked. Like, everybody's broke. So I think you need Bitcoin to, like, Daddy Bitcoin needs to come and say, hey, we're back. Everybody could kind of tap their foot in or dip their toe in the water again and be okay. One second, I gotta check on things. Yeah. So, all right. Other things in crypto that are interesting to me, the revenue stuff, right? So, yeah, Hyperliquid, Pump is another one. Pump has actually done pretty well. You've been seeing a thrust in the meme coin ecosystem, and Pump buybacks have increased because of that. They have recently decreased, so I actually don't know if it's great to be exposed here. But if Bitcoin can get over that hump, I think that hump will pump. So I do own some Pump. Now let's get into some other stuff here. Sorry, I wasn't showing the Pump screen. There you go. You're starting to see the wind get taken out of the sails of the AI trade, right? Could you feel it? Can you feel it? You're not looking up as much stuff. You're not watching as many podcasts. You have a little bit less money. You're starting to not care, starting to settle into the pocket, right? SpaceX is just a stock now. It's just a stock. This was a fun trade. Kind of wonder what's going to happen here. I'm a little bit bearish SpaceX at the moment. That's a story for another day. Intel and Micron and stuff getting hit hard today. But again, like this is a little bit what worries me is like the VIX is so low. All right, it's starting to creep up. But like over the past day or two, VIX got down into like the 14s, right? And I don't know. It just seems like a spot where you don't want to be fully risk on. Sure enough, stocks over the last day or two have been getting a little bit hurt, and that could continue. That's why Bitcoin outperformance has been interesting to watch. But you're seeing a lot of things get hurt. While the 30-year made an all-time high. Well, not all-time, but like, you know. Hold on. Funny thing about this skill set is the learning curve requires you to trade, lose, then refine. Next, you have to handle the psychology. Yep. Hardest game in the world, baby. Hardest game in the world. This is like an interesting thing. I'm actually going to make a video on this. I've been scripting it out, but like this idea of scaling, right? Everybody wants to pull time forward. They want it now. And we sell them that, right? All the products are sold to make you wealthy now, make you a skillful trader now. Here's your indicator. Here's your course. It's all going to happen now. It just doesn't work that way. In fact, if you win quick and you win early, you're often in trouble because you're going to give that back over time, wonder what happened, and then have to start the process all over. So I think what you need to do is you need to start small and stay small for a long time, a year, 2 years. Prove over months and months that you're a winning trader, and then you could scale quickly because it allows you to scale quickly. You could up the stakes as fast as you need to. But a lot of people press that like way too fast. Like they up the stakes so fast because they want it now, but they haven't proven to themselves that they're a winner yet. I love, you guys have probably heard me say slow is smooth, smooth is fast. Like slow is smooth. Figure it out. Go slow. Figure out how to win with 1 lots or $100. Do it a lot. And then you can size up to $1,000 if you want. Like it'll happen fast, you know, once you like, you're not going to move the market, right? In most things, you're not going to move the market. So you could take your time and then scale up over time and you'll be good, you know? And then psychology, yeah, like you need the reps, you need to go, you need to lose, you need to win, you need all the things in between to really start to understand yourself and how to like move forward. Everybody blows up, man. Everybody tilts. It happens. GP, came across your channel now. What's up, man? Thanks for stopping in. Just listen to your story from 0 to this. I'm 2 years in, some payouts, but not consistent yet. Feels like it's very close for that breakthrough. Yep. So it sounds like you're prop trading. I have my views on prop trading. It's whatever. It's a good way for people to learn, but I do feel like it's very extractive. Whatever. Anyways, yes, I think if you're 2 years in, you've probably experienced quite a lot. You probably know a lot about yourself. And you probably are edging from being maybe at least a break-even trader, right? 2 years in, if you're not starting to get kind of close to breaking even, you're probably doing a lot of things wrong and you haven't been adjusting and learning and iterating. You've probably been blowing accounts left and right and having these, you know what I mean? This is why you got to stay small. You almost need the money to like, it almost needs to be where the money doesn't matter, but you still feel the money, right? The closest you could get to that. Then the opposite is true for like when you're scaling is like you need to push it to where like it's just at your comfort zone on the upside to where you really are being pushed, really forcing yourself to get dialed in. But at the same time, like it's not going to ruin your life. But yeah, man, like you're probably right there. So if you're still here 2 years in, you still love it, you still have money, you're still learning, you're probably getting close to a breakthrough. Jeffrey, exactly what happened to me starting to get payouts after the 1 year. Yeah, there you go. Keep doing it. Keep getting payouts, just little payouts. Boom, boom, boom. Because like, don't rush it, man. Like if you could scale up 2, 3, 4 years, like who cares about 2 or 3 or 4 years? Because eventually you're going to be getting payouts or switching to your own personal account and making 50K, 100K, 200K. And you'll forget about all of these little $1,000 payouts or 1,200. Like that's the goal, right? Do you really want the stress of trading if you're not going to be like making some real money? Do you really want to have to dial in and have all that stress just so you could get $1,000 payout? Like, no, you should just go work and like, just go work. You know, I'm trying to find big asymmetric payouts because like, I think life is funny. I have what? I mean, you could write off the first 20 years. You could write off the last 20 years. So you have like 40 years to like spin it up. I'm trying to spin it up, man. So I'm trying to make a bunch, but I don't think I don't think taking 2, 3, 4 years to figure it out is a waste at all. You got to like build the foundation. Then you could just start pushing it. AC, yeah, I'm there 1.5 years in. That's crazy, man. A lot of the people that find me are usually these people that are like 1 to 2 years in, which I guess is like the target I'm going for anyway. I feel like I can most provide value to like newer and intermediate people. Just started to go from 5 to 10 mini NQ to 30 to 40 mini NQ. I will tell you this much. Think you should try to expand outside of mini NQ. Again, I've had this conversation with a lot of people. I know it's cool to trade the NASDAQ, but it's one of the hardest markets you could ever choose. For what reason, man? Why? Hold on. Yeah, like why are you trading NQ? Like go trade gold, go trade oil, nat gas, soybeans, all these other futures markets that are less liquid, move around, are more able to be like, you're able to identify players and levels and patterns a lot more. But no, you want to be the cool NASDAQ guy that trades against millennium market makers a year into your trading. What? Why? Dude, I'll bring up NASDAQ and you won't see me trade it once today. Unless it's moving like crazy, going to auction, maybe a settlement. Like if I have blatant edge, I'll trade it. But like, what? I'm not trying to be a dick, AC. I'm not. But I'm just saying, like, are you trying other things? A lot of people just like can't get over it. But there's been people, I have a Discord, right? Like there's people in my Discord who I've convinced to trade elsewhere, right? To try different things. And then they like it. They love it. They get into it, you know, because they realize it's the same thing with a different name. And it's easier. Go look at gold, by the way. Or not gold. Let's go look at oil. So this was my prediction in oil, right? I've been shorting oil a lot. I took a short here. I stopped out at break even because oil, you know, stuff's popping off again in the Middle East. And right now I'm just kind of waiting. So this is not occurring yet, right? So we'll see. We'll see what happens here. Right now there's no progress on the deals and it seems like markets don't care. Oil, I don't know what price it could get to, but I suppose there's a chance we could get it back up into the 90s, but far-fetched to me. But today it's moving to the upside for sure. But I'll be honest, I am always looking for oil shorts, given the situation. Yeah, and guys, if you want to join the Discord, there should be a link in my YouTube bio, I believe, or in the other videos. It is paid though, so like, you know, just know that before you ever go there. As I move forward, as I stream more, I'm going to be in the Discord more. I'm going to share probably a lot more positions in there first. I'll talk about positions on stream and stuff, but it'll probably be after the fact. So we'll see what happens in oil there. Bonds, also very interesting. We've been talking about this a lot on Global Flow's stream. They are threatening a really interesting, like, big low here. Look at this. Look at this going back to 2010. I mean, this will be really interesting because yields are making a push. I think they want yields to make a push because I think growth is strong. I don't think they think it's going to ruin anything. If that happens, I am very interested to see if bonds have like a capitulation moment to the downside. Two-year seems all right. But yeah, 10-year broke its uptrend. It's the long end, the really long, ultra long end that looks most spicy. Dude, all the people that have been buying TLT have just been getting absolutely... oh man, it broke that, huh? Look at this. TLT since 2003 is now an all-time low. Dude, look at that chart. Oh man. Could you imagine? I'll be honest, like what I expect to happen most here is just like a whoop. Yeah. I don't really expect that to get too out of hand. But you never know. Could see some massive yield spike. Cause a crash in markets for a little bit. And then them come in with some saving grace. Yeah. Let's see what else we got going on here, guys. Jeffrey, then I just started having a gigantic dry spell because I started pressing the gas after getting payouts for 1 year. Yeah, but that's good. Like, you're put like once you're winning and you're pushing the gas a little bit, you're gonna have fits and starts. Like same thing that happened in poker is like I would play 2-5 for a year, trying to like become a winner there, and I did, and I would move up to 5-10, and I would get crushed because of all sorts of reasons. Like I would play too aggressive, I would play too tight. There were better players there. Maybe sometimes like just things didn't go my way. I played worse, whatever. I have to come back to 2-5. I'd do it again. I'd do it again until I was able to play 5-10 more comfortably and be used to it. You'd be used to the swings. So you're going to have dry spells. You're going to have pullbacks. You just have to be okay with resetting to where you were before and not. So most people will move up. They'll get so frustrated by losing at the next level that they'll just go full send and they'll tilt off their entire stack and then they'll be broke. They're not willing to go backwards. Have to be willing to go backwards. GP, my problem is that I want it so bad that money has been too big in my mind instead of the progress. Trying to switch my mindset. Yep. Again, you want it and you want it now, and you live and die by the P&L. The best in the world don't live and die by the P&L, man. All process oriented. I didn't even look at my P&L for the last like 5 years of my trading career. I still try not to. I just don't love it. It just seeps into my mind of what that money means, what I'm up for the day, what I'm down for the day. It's just like, I don't like it. I like to think, was this a good trade? Was the entry good? Was the exit good? How was my sizing? How am I feeling? What are the trades I'm in? How do they coincide with each other? Etc. Right? But if you want it so bad, when you say I want it so bad, I'm already like yellow flag, bro. It's cool that you want it, but like when you want it so bad that every trade means so much to you, it's just a recipe for disaster. AC, the Discord that I started to learn from was only doing NQ. Yeah, who cares? Who cares? They're all losing too. They're all losing too. Maybe there's one guy in there that's like a winning trader and he's figured it out. And he's like a slight winner in NQ. But if you're going to tell me there's a Discord where there's a bunch of randoms crushing the NASDAQ, I will bet against that every day. I don't believe it. I do not believe it, and I bet they're selling courses, the main guy, and it's like some ICT bullshit or something, and they're going to say things like, well, you're going to be like, hey, I didn't get the same result as you, and they're going to be like, well, it's probably because of this, this, and this, and you should really think about this, this, and this, so get back to me when you do that. Nah. I feel attacked, says Mist. Yeah, man. If only you had a new option coming to you. If only you had a new way out. Oh, wait. This is one of the things that interests me a lot. It's like agentic economy, right? Like I know everybody's heard of agents, but it just feels as if when there's some huge use cases for consumer agents, that there's going to be this next level demand of compute that keeps this whole AI thing in the forefront and the productivity up front, and it's going to outpace the efficiency improvements that we have, and that memory and compute and all that will do very well for the next at least few years. If you guys don't follow Jordy, I would suggest following him and watching his Sunday video every Sunday on YouTube. Let's go search Jordy Visser. AC, did you ever have a playbook along the journey for specific setups? Is that something you still use? No. I have a framework for how I take risk, but every situation to me is different. I don't look for... See, I've talked about this before, is like, that's why I don't really love like specific ways, like trading styles, because it's like you're bucketing everything and it has to like fit these form factors. And you're trying to like smush volatility into this one thing. And I think every situation is different. Every poker hand was different. Every trade is different. You need a framework, like a harness, and a way to like observe it. But I feel like every trade is a little bit of like nuance. Do a lot of my trades look like they're similar? Yeah. But there's always like 7 or 8 different little pieces of each story that fit together in that one moment, subconsciously, consciously, that make everything a little bit different. So like playbook, no, because that would, to me, that would suggest like I have to have this conditions and I apply this technique, and it's like a 1-2, and it's like I just do that over and over, and I have a hit rate of 55% on my 2R or whatever the fuck people talk about. This R thing, you might feel attacked now, Mist. It's that I hate the letter R. I don't care. I think in ticks. I think in percentages. Oh, I got a 2R or 3R trade here on my. I got a box here. I got a volume profile. Oh, look at this. It's retesting the gap. It's retesting the gap fill. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, this is a zero hedge post talking about like how volatility was super low. Like, yeah, again, this would be the time where you'd want to be buying insurance, buying the hedge, right? When volatility is cheap. Be good. Neo Clouds. Yeah, I don't know why you didn't put in some of the other ones like Galaxy or Iron and stuff like that, but revenue's growing. People need compute. Yada, yada, yada. It's funny going back through bookmarks. I realize how much stuff I just haven't gone back and watched, you know? This is a good article, by the way, with Josh Kushner. He just bought the Lakers. GP, I know I have what it takes, and it's only a matter of a question of time. Yep. Good mindset. It could take a while, man. And that's fine. Blueprint setups. It took me 6 years. Yeah. Thank you for saying that. It took me over 2 years. Yeah. So that's a good point. If you could get there, it's all worth it. You look back and you say it's all worth it, and it was worth not blowing up and not having to, go earn more money. And it is all worth it in the end. But you got to survive until you get there. Type in there what you guys are trading today or looking at. Let me know. Go look at some stuff. Also, let me know if you like this format. It's easier for me to just chill and trade and talk. It's something I like to do. And whether or not it feels like you are just kind of here at a trading desk shooting the shit. Because I kind of want that to exist. I'm also going to try to bring people on, have guests here and there, ideate, maybe even bring on some trading buddies, talk about what we're looking at, etc. And if you don't mind, like liking the video on YouTube or sharing it on Twitter, like reposting, something like that would be great. Like to get it to a point where I can consistently come on and just have people interacting and chatting and questions and stuff, because that's what makes it good. I'm a good yapper, but I can't just yap for a couple hours on my own. You know what I mean? That's tough scene. You can make those years back in 1 month, just survive. Yep. That's again going back to the scaling thing, right? Like all it takes is 1 good month, 1 good year, and everything else that you've done up until now just doesn't matter. So that's what you got to keep in the back of your mind. Doesn't feel that way in the moment. Blueprint caught NQ at 29.6 on the 30-minute rotation up. Let's go look at NQ. So it looks like he caught the knife. Good luck, sir. Go fill that gap. That's what she said. Good morning, Massey. Nice to see you. 29,650. 650. 650. Am I seeing that right? 29.6. Oh, okay. 29,650 to the downside for AC. I got you. NQ and ES IB failure trade today. What is an IB failure trade? I read that and I think Interactive Brokers went down or something. What does that mean? See, this is the thing with the trading world right now. I can't keep up with all this verbiage. It's so stupid to me. Just tell me what the fuck you're talking about. Speak in a real language to me, please, not some like charting language. Nerds. GP short gold on the VWAP today. Beautiful. Havard did scalp the Bitcoin long 64,100. Still hold half position. Nice. Nice. If it breaks above a certain level, I would suggest testing your ability to hold it. Because like if you could get on sides and you catch this break in Bitcoin and it does go, it's going to be a good trade. You know what I'm saying? There's not many times where there's like huge pent up energy in Bitcoin, but this is one of those times. Right? A lot of pent up energy. Something to watch out for. Let's go to the 4 hour. Like, we reclaimed this channel after it threatened breaking down. I mean, this thing could go. This thing could go. You know what I mean? So if you get on sides, I know if you have a process and you're like, oh, I like to just take quick winner, whatever. Well, in certain super volatile or like super spots with super big potential, I tend to like try and push it. You know. Okay. PDH PDL. What the fuck is PDH? PDH. Fuck is PDH PDL? Am I even looking in the right? The fuck? You gotta let me know more about PDH PDL. I don't know what that is. Or are you talking about some sort of like, is this trader language? This is trader language that I don't know about? Fuck. Initial, did you? Okay. Thank you, Mist. LQ and ES initial balance failure trade. Dude, this is the shit I'm talking about. Did you just say the initial balance failure trade? I'm sure Stanley Druckenmiller is coming into the day. Paul Tudor Jones. Guys, quiet. We just had the initial balance failure. Quick, to the keyboard. Short for a point. Dude, with the traders these days. Can't you just say, like, the move didn't go on the open? It didn't happen, so I went the other way. Just tell me that. I believe you're smart. I know you're smart. Just fucking tell me, hey, the move didn't go up, right? The move failed. Or just, if you want to use the word failed, just say the move failed, so I shorted or whatever. The move, it didn't go down anymore, so I bought. Does not mean it's a bad trade because you didn't use some fucking technical terms, dude. 1 second here. Uno momento, please. Let's see here. All right. Oh, PDH is previous day's high, and PDL is previous day's low. I just can't, dude. Well, we had a swing failure at the PDH, and the initial balance was off, so I shorted my one lot. Shut the fuck up. Oh my god. Quick, mark down the PDL. My Discord is not about anything, GP. It's this, man. And I type in a lot of my trades in there that I'm allegedly taking in places that you're not supposed to trade in America, if you know what I mean. So if you want more access to me, you want to ask me personal questions off hours, off stream, whatever, go to my Discord. Massey, that ICT shit is so funny to me. So much lingo, yeah. But that's how you sell it, right? Sell the dream. Sell the words that show you, hey, if you understand this stuff, you're in the know. What happened to dude? Everything is bruh now. I'll be honest with you, I do like bruh. Bruh. Dude. I do like, well, dude's cool too. I used to say Maddle. I'm from upstate New York. We used to say mad, like, yo, that stuff is mad awesome. Or like mad this or mad that. Eric, how do you track and journal your trades? I used to track them all. I used to journal and track everything, but nowadays I don't. I'm more about like improving myself and kind of my mindset and all that stuff. So like I don't focus on that as much. But I do suggest everybody do it. By the way, I'm bringing my buddy Kenny on for a minute. I'm trying to figure it out on the back end. Just Kenny, just give me a minute, okay? Can you hear me? 1 second. Kenny, you could hear me, right? Yeah, just give me a second and I'm gonna try to figure out how to pull you up just because I haven't done this before on there, so. Give me a second, guys. I'm just gonna see if I can bring my buddy up here. Let me know if you could see this guy, guys. Let me know if you could see him. Bring up Kenny for a little bit here. Kenny, could you look at the screen for a second? Oh, sorry, he didn't hear me. Kenny, could you look at the screen for a second? Tell me if you're there.
Yeah, sorry.
Tell me if
I
you
was looking
see
at my other
yourself.
screen. What's up?
Go to my stream and tell me if you see yourself. I'm just, you're the first kind of guy I'm pulling up here, so. It's going to be a little delayed, but let me see if you,
So go to your stream and see if I'm there. Oh, I'm there. Yeah.
You're there? Okay.
I see myself looking that way.
Yeah. Let me know if you guys could hear Kenny or not.
Mist is calling you Boomer James. That's right, Mist.
Yeah.
Big Boomer
I
James.
know him IRL. That is correct. I am Monk status. I'm 38. I am just on the cusp. I'm just on the cusp where like a guy like you will think I'm cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I was like 45, I would be irrelevant.
I'm just on the cusp where Gen Z, or what is it? Gen Z will think I'm cool. I'm at 30, so like I'm trying to hang on to the the cool lingo and the I bets and the all the terminologies.
Yeah. All right, guys. This is Kenny. I've known Kenny for quite some time in the crypto space. He's one of those like internet relationships I've made. He's always been kind of in the trench warfare. He does work in the space now. I'll let you decide whether or not you want to talk about where you work. But I just wanted to bring you on from a crypto perspective. I have been talking about crypto for a while on stream earlier, and I don't really want to get into like too many specific opportunities or whatever, but I just want to hear your take on like what you felt like in the last, because I think things have changed in the last month, right? But we haven't necessarily broken out in crypto to where we're seeing an ecosystem wide push, right? So what's your feeling in general of where we're at? How are you thinking about things? What have you seen from the like company side of growth or whatever? And just like what are your kind of overall thoughts?
Yeah, no, appreciate you having me on. Definitely has been great to know you for the 5 years that we've met in crypto. We met back in NFT land. For me, I've always been on Solana. Done some community management. Worked for Soul Sniper before, and now I'm with Phantom, just doing customer happiness stuff. But so overall, as far as just like the market where crypto goes, I tend to stay on the degen side of things. Definitely trading the meme coins. Love meme coins all the time. But that being said, though, I think we're in this interesting spot where, like you said, it's changed in the last, month, 2 months. We've had, some significant runners like Ansem, Cash Cat on Robinhood, right? We've had some things to look forward to, maybe some new ceilings that maybe not for the market cap wise, but just new things to have catalysts for and build towards memes. Because for a while it was just like, hyper. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I'm just paying attention to some stuff going on. I'm listening.
Oh no, you're good. So basically it still is hyper rotational, but it was to the point where like there's just no liquidity in the memes before, and now there definitely is. Um, to the question, I was talking to I think it's Puppenomics this morning. Basically, the narrative, I talked about this too last week, is just like, are the trenches really back, or is this just kind of like a forced, rotation market? And I think it's a little bit of both. I think it's like the moment where we need to like kind of be in tune and like, pay attention, pick some spots, but not play like super aggressively. But I do feel like it kind of feels like 2023 at the end of the year, where it like switched on, where like there were some memes like Myro, and we had the bonk of course drop beforehand, and all of these things kind of started kicking things up. And I'm wondering if something similar could happen. Anson launching the launchpad yesterday too, giving back to some of those holders. Of course, dare I say, the pump drop. So all of those things being said, I think lots to look forward to. So I'm definitely paying attention. I'm definitely still clicking the buttons. I never stopped clicking the buttons though, so that was kind of my issue. But yeah, that's kind of my rundown on like, I don't know, memes where I think we're at.
Yeah, if you're willing to talk about maybe some of the pitfalls you've found over the years of like trading in that space, like if you're willing to, like, what have been some of the things that have plagued you from like the trenches and stuff? Like, what are the big mistakes you feel like you've learned and started to adjust to over time, and why do you think it happened?
Yeah, no, there's a lot to that, right? I think it's kind of like the analogy where it's making money is like filling up a bottle with like a pin and like taking grains of sand and like slowly making money and adding to your bottle, and then losing money is like the water coming in and washing it away. I think memes is
Yeah.
very like that. And I think it's very easy to get blown up in memes, and especially over rotating, not sticking to like, if you have like an actual plan. That was my thing, is sometimes I wouldn't have a plan and just kind of play in the mornings, win, and then give a lot back because I was over trading, over rotating, borrowing theses from other people. So I guess first thing is just like having your own thesis. Like the best trades I've ever made were like my own ideas, of course, and like not borrowing these things from other people. And of course, that's where the asymmetric upsides exist, is when there's a decision where other people are disagreeing. Like PopCap was my best trade for an example, and people said, "Oh no, no way it could rip that high," and I just have delusional belief in PopCat, and it eventually went to where it did, and the rest was history. But I haven't had a trade like that since. I think it's obviously oversaturated market. I'm pretty good at identifying like where the puck is going to go and being early to the runners. But the execution is a big issue for me, as far as like holding that money, being allocated enough where I could let that trade sit and actually cook, versus like trying to chase the new thing, because there's a new thing every day and there's volume. You see a coin from creation to millions every single day, so you're like, oh, I got to catch the next one, instead of just like letting some of these other ones grow. So that's just kind of where I'm at. I'm trying to navigate those things, but I still think there's opportunity, and I think it's not easy. I mean, trading's never easy. It's still PvP at the end of the day, but I don't know. I think I'm on the cusp of figuring it out, but we'll see. I
Yeah,
don't know.
we've talked enough to where I know you've taken the route of like a mix of success and pain, right? Like I
Yeah.
would say you didn't have some experience where you won a lot of money very quickly. Well, that's not true. You did go on a run that was pretty amazing, right? But like I said earlier, it's like you could have that run. Anybody can, right? It's like anybody could go to Vegas and have like an epic blackjack run, right? Now, to be fair, I've never had that epic blackjack run, and I still would like it. I'm due for an epic blackjack run. But like, if you have the wrong tendencies and the wrong mindset and the wrong execution, like you're going to give it back, right? It's just going to happen. And it's so hard in the moment. Like we had talks to like understand that and put money aside to like protect yourself from yourself, right?
Yep.
And,
Yep.
and I still deal with that. There's still times where like I'll be doing really well trading and I'll just like push it and I'll be like, I'll look back at the end of the day and I was like, why did I fucking do that? You know what I mean? Like that wasn't like your normal. It's amazing that the person you turn into in the moment and like don't realize it. So I think you've learned a ton of lessons to where the next time you get on like a hot streak which will come because you've set your life up now to where like you have a much more dependable setup, I think, in life now, right?
Yep.
So the next time it comes, it's going to feel completely different. And
Yep.
I think you've protected yourself from yourself a little bit more. It's just like, when's it going to come? Where's it going to come? Why is it going to come? We don't know any of that, right? And until then, it's like taking care of your baby in the background and stuff like that, right?
Yep. 100%. Yeah.
And,
The day to day, waiting for the moment. And I think with that too is just like not forcing it on the day to day too, generally, like knowing that these things, take time, picking the right spots or whatever, instead of like, trying to wake up every morning and try to make it all back in a day or make it, get to an X number in a day. Like, I think that's something that's also plagued me. And I think that I'm like trying to stray away from, but to your point, like the lessons we've learned and, I can't say 100%, like if I got back to where I was that I wouldn't, repeat some of the same mistakes. I probably would, but I think I would also be able to, identify those things a lot quicker and maybe, slow down or like reevaluate or, in those moments. But we'll see when we get
oh
there.
yeah, you'll still make them. It's just like, can you recognize them in the moment? And then what are you going to do about that? Right. That's why, like, if you guys out there haven't read, I think it was like Market Mind Games was a really good book. And I think that one, yeah. Market Mind Games by Denise Scholl, like really opened my eyes up and changed my perspective on like emotions while trading, right? Like a lot of people say like you need to trade like a robot, you shouldn't feel any emotions, you should just, and I'm like, that never really felt right to me because I'm like, I feel so much when I'm trading. And I'm like, well, I can't feel like a robot. Like I don't understand that, right? And Denise's book is basically the opposite of that. It's like not only should you try to feel, but like you should try to feel as much as possible so that you could start to recognize and allow those feelings to come through so that you could again spot like, oh, this is exactly how I felt last time I was tilting my brains out and I lost a ton of money. I need to pull back right now.
Yep.
And if you could do that, that just saved you a ton of money because you actually experienced feelings. Or last time I felt this good, I really regretted not pushing it because all my trades worked. And oh, I feel like that again. Now I'm going to lean into it. I'm going to push it. I'm going to be aggressive, right? It's like there's both good and bad emotions that like you can learn from. So you're going to make the mistakes. You're going to make better trades. You're going to make better decisions too. But it's like recognize them in real time is the hardest part, right? So it's like so hard, but that's the key towards like experience and going through all the ups and downs. It's like, don't shut down the emotional side of things, in my opinion. If you want to do that, like go be on a quant team, go figure out how to like bucket your emotions into like coding, right? And like try to remove decision making from yourself. But I don't like that. I don't want to code. Like trading is not interesting to me. Like for I gotta set up this bot to pick up a penny, and then like 6 months in, I just like it gets so offsides and I lose the entire stack. Like, dude, there were so many times at the at the firm that I was at where like this like group would be like legendary, right? Like like they're absolutely crushing, like they're making the firm the most money, and then like one time they get themselves in a massive pickle, they lose a fuck ton of money, and all of a sudden you look back and you're like, they weren't any different than any of us,
Yep.
And yeah, it's pretty fascinating. But yeah, like I agree with you. I think there's been a lot of motion out there. But I'm a little hesitant myself to push it until I see Daddy Bitcoin break. Once Daddy Bitcoin breaks 66, 67K, I think I'm going to put on a little bit more risk than I'm used to, because I think, how many times have we seen an ecosystem-wide push to where like everything's up like 20% in a day, and then you rush to like go make a position, right? And then there's like pullbacks and all this, like that it gets dicey, right? Like I want to be in that first push,
right?
Just when it feels like it can't happen. And I'm really waiting. I think the sign for me, and I discussed this a little bit earlier, is Ethereum breaking to the upside. I think that's going to be like the green light. You know what I mean? Like Bitcoin goes, Ethereum rips, and then everything goes. That's kind of like my guess. What do you think about that thought?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that on chain even has shown signals, life for sure. And I think that it is kind of waiting for like a bigger next wave to kind of like push us over the edge. Even Anson's like flipped back bullish Ethereum, I think, after being like so bearish for like the longest time. I'm not saying like he knows everything, but like it does look like that's like a clear signal, and it does look like there's some life there, especially with the Robinhood stuff too. That's been like really cool to see.
It's done well.
That chain, and compared to base and everything else, but like it's done pretty well in like volume, and there's definitely been some opportunity. I think Vlad's done a good job of like, kind of saying the right things, kind of pumping some of the bags like he needs to be. So I do think it's nice to see on chain kind of popping the way it is with the majors sitting, just kind of idle here. I wouldn't mind, to accumulate soul here, but it does feel like to your point that we've just been here for so long, like even every time we talk we're just like waiting for it to go one way or another, and it hasn't yet, right? So I don't know, it does feel like, I don't know how you say that we can go a lot lower if it does break to the downside. I'm just like, how much lower can we go? Like I feel like we've already gone through the months of pain of just like boredom and just like messing around. So
bro, I've thought that a lot of times, and it always can go lower than I think. You know what I mean? Like, here's the thing. Let me ask you this question. We have sat at this price for so long that it almost feels like we've set a floor. But that's where I think they get you. You know what I mean? That's what worries me, is that you almost have created this sentiment in your mind that like, oh yeah, well, clearly it can't go down more than like another 5 or 10%. And that's where I worry, because I feel like a lot of people who have still believe in the ecosystem have rebuilt positions here, and that everybody has their finger on the trigger just in case to cause another absolute vacuum out. And I don't want that to happen, but I do think it happens. And like, let me be honest, Kenny. All right, if I were to ask you the question, all right, Bitcoin dumps to, so say it dumps, breaks 60K, breaks the low at 58, goes to 50. Oh my God, we slide. It's like another 10 down to 42K. Is Bitcoin any different at 42K than it is at 64K as it is at 100K? Is it any different? Is it the same technology? Is it the same thing? What's different? So why can't it be 42? Now look, I fucking hate when people call for 42. I do. I hate it. But what's different?
That's true.
Why
That's
not?
true. Well, even like the inverse side of that is like, what's different on chain if Bitcoin's at 42K versus 100K versus where it's at now, right? Like, I don't know. Like, that's like, to me, like, I feel like it's being less and less correlated of like, oh, Bitcoin needs to, break to like for everything to go. Like, why can't, these altcoins rip on their own without like Bitcoin leading the way this time? Like, why can't meme, like, attention's not just based on Bitcoin, so like why can't memes and stuff still like have a place even though Bitcoin's going down? So like, I guess to your point of it being different, it's really not. And it's just like price drives narrative at the end of the day for all of these things, right? But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like, to me, in my perspective, Bitcoin still just that store of value, but it's just ultimately just boring. So like,
Yeah.
It can be boring one way or another. It can be
How
boring to the
dare
upside,
you.
boring to the downside. But
How dare you say it's boring?
it doesn't matter for my like, meme coin trading at the end of the day.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, like, unfortunately, everybody still groups it together, right? So yeah, you need a solid break for like a year, I think, for people to start like separating the two, right? Crypto is crypto, Bitcoin is crypto, crypto is Bitcoin.
It's still so small in the grand scheme of things, right? Like these stocks.
Yeah, well, think about it this way: what is the total market cap of crypto? It is 2.2 trillion. All right, 2.2 trillion.
All-time highs was like what, 4 or like 3 point something?
It was 4.2. So we've essentially down half, right? Now, just think about like whatever. Nvidia, Amazon, Tesla, Apple, Meta. They're all like just as big or bigger than like our entire industry. And that's
Right.
crazy to me.
It is,
You
yeah.
know,
It does like make me think that there's some more upside to be ahead and stuff. And I don't,
well, I hope so.
yeah, or
Yeah. That's the
yeah,
thing though, is like that's why I have a tough time with Bitcoin is like I'm starting to realize it's no different at 65K than it is at 300,000. Like the story is just the same. Like maybe some more people own it. But like in a company or something, like Nvidia goes to 50 trillion, it's probably like the world's most dominant superpower citadel. Fucking, everybody's wearing a leather jacket. Chips are like, it's like a Mad Max out there for getting chips for AI. And it's like, but if Bitcoin's there, like, I don't know. Like, I feel like the world just like never doesn't feel different at all. Some people own it, some people don't. It's
yeah.
just like the same shit,
I
which
feel you.
actually makes me bullish, but it also makes me like, well, like why not at 40, right? I don't know.
Right. How does it get there then if it's the same? Right. I don't know. Like
Well, that's true. Yeah, you don't like. Here's the thing. I'm the crypto guy, right? And I like around my suburban landscape out here. I'm like, oh, James, the crypto guy. He's that guy who trades crypto. It's still such a salty, like gross thing to people. Oh, dude, this guy texted me the other day and he said, "Hey, stock guy." He called me stock guy. I don't
not
even really
stuck guy.
trade stocks that much, but like that's what people think of me as. That's what I've been reduced to. I'm only relevant to them when they have a question about like a stock they're in. It's just so comical. So like, that's fine with me. I think it's funny, but to be honest, that shows you how far we are away from somebody like that stepping back into our ecosystem. You know
True.
what I mean? So far that they
True.
have to get over the idea of being a crypto guy again, because they all were at one point, right? It was either 2021 or 2017. At some point, they bought their Ripple or their whatever, and they don't want to do it again. They don't want that pain. They don't want to be associated with it. And we have so far to go. So, maybe it's like the market bubble, right? Maybe it's letting all those people go, and you really got to just capture Gen Z and Gen Alpha, right? Like they need to be the ones that bring us up. The problem is they don't have money.
Yeah.
They don't have any
Right.
money. All the boomers have the money. The boomers don't give them the money. You know what I mean? Like it's
Right.
crazy.
Yeah. No,
So
I don't know. It's good thoughts for sure. I definitely think, I think of this just like, you know, core principles like bullish on the internet, bullish on like digital activity and like all of that like intertwines with crypto and all these rails and making crypto not feel like crypto, but it still is, right? And all these different things. You have X money coming too, right? So like all of these things are like intertwined and makes these things more accessible. Even just like one thing that's like crazy to me with like the not money having discussion is just like how many of these like payday loan apps there are nowadays, or like just quick cashback. And I feel like there's so many people out there that are just like borrowing on their check or like doing their like earning thing where they get their funds ahead and then like they're putting it into like risk as far as like crypto or memes, like they think that's the only way out. Or even like sports betting too. Like I saw a recent post, it was just like I think it was like 40% of I think it was like 18 to 23-year-olds believe that sports betting is like a genuine like way that they can like make money. Like, and it's like an actual thing that they like practice. And like, I thought that was like a
let's
pretty
be
sweet.
honest. You've probably thought that too, right?
Oh, I mean, I'm still in that boat. Like, I mean, it depends on the day, right? When I wake up,
Yeah.
and I
Dude, I
think
don't know how you're not into like creating bots on like some prediction stuff
like
for
arbing the game
sports.
or something, or like,
Something like that. It seems like
yeah,
you're pretty into that stuff. And I don't know, like I have a guy out here in Temecula that I know. Shout out to Brian Harrington. Good YouTube follow. If you're out there on YouTube and you want to follow a guy that's like personal finance / Bitcoin, Brian Harrington, he has been, now he's not even a trader, but he's been in the depths building prediction bot, like a prediction bot on Kelshi on Kelshi, I think. And he's like winning. Like it's small size, but he's figured out how to have like a 78 or 80% hit rate. And now he's working on scaling. And it's like, all right, if I scale, does the win rate go down? And at what point can I scale to where the win rate stays there, right? And I just think that's so cool because like he's a guy who's not really into trading, but he's using the tools available in a newer, immature space to create edge and alpha for himself. You know,
Yeah.
I think that's so cool.
No, I think it's cool, and I've definitely thought about like some possibilities there. I think to your point of just like having something like a system that works, and then just like letting it run its course versus like manually doing these sports betting and predictions. Like you might not stick to your system all the time, or like you catch a couple L's in a row, and then you think, oh, it doesn't work anymore. But in reality, like you spread it out over 100 games or whatever, then maybe you'd still be winning. So like I think there's some opportunity there. I know that there's some people too that like to go to the games, right? And you can like see like the ball in the air before like the odds change or something. I think those are like funny opportunities too. Um, but yeah, I like the prediction market aspect of like the sports betting with like the combos, just because I feel like you get more of a true market cash out option. So like I do like taking advantage of like a team that you think is going to win, they go down by a couple runs in the first inning or two,
Yeah.
and then you take that, and then even if they tie the game, you're up, and you can take advantage of those spots. Or even like an example too would be like every time you go into the ninth inning and the team's down by 1 run, you just like throw a little bit on that team that's down by 1 run in the ninth, because it's like 10-1 odds that they win at that point. So you hit 1 in 10, then you're technically profitable. But I don't know, just like little stuff like that. I definitely think there's like some opportunity to that, but um,
It's
I
like
haven't
betting on
automated.
Scotty Scheffler if he ever has a bad first round. If he ever has bad first round, you
Right,
just bet on Scotty Scheffler, and he's always somehow almost
right.
winning by
He's gonna
Sunday.
come finish in the top three or something. Yeah.
Yeah, golf's like an interesting one. I have a buddy, shout out JJ if you're watching, who's big into golf, and he just thinks there's still a lot of edge there if you're like pretty informed. Um, but there's so much luck involved too. It's crazy.
I feel like with that, like it's just like who's hot that day, right? Like I don't
It's
know.
both. It's
Yeah,
both. Yeah,
yeah.
you got to have probably a lot of lineups and a lot of luck and a lot of knowledge, just like
Mhm.
anything else, right? Like luck is kind of created, right?
Well, with the
By
golf too, like their odds are so low and they fluctuate so much. I feel like you sprinkle on like Scotty at 8%, or some of these big guys, Rory or whatever, like, and you could place it on multiple people, and even if one of the three hit or whatever, then you would still be up. So I don't know. I think that's like one way people play golf, but I don't know. It's hard. Every time I've like bet on those, it's not gone well, or
yeah.
predicted on those, I should say.
Well, I think it's fair to stay away from it, just risking like some fun weekend money. But I do think there's probably, there's things available out there. You just really got. You remember that article by Cirrus? Let me pull that
Mhm.
up. That Cirrus article about the World Cup betting. You had to have read
Oh
that,
yeah,
right?
I do remember where he. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's this right here. You guys go to Cirrus NFT, and his pinned tweet is an amazing article on a guy who found some edge in this like obscure prediction market that was spending all sorts of money advertising during the World Cup. And he ended up going to like a shit 13, 14 games, all free, box seats, everything taken care of, because he found a little bit of an edge out there in a place nobody was looking. And he's been
Yep.
a guy who's always done this pretty well. He always seems to be in these things that like nobody knows about, right?
Mhm.
And that's still out there for the taking. This goes back to what I was talking about earlier on stream, is like there's people trading the Nasdaq when they're learning, and I'm just like, that's like a guy just getting into prediction markets and manually trading on Polymarket without any clue. You know what I mean? It's like you're just probably going to get kind of worked over and over,
Mhm.
you know?
Yep.
And
Yep.
you could be trying to do stuff like this. So, stuff to think
That's a
about.
good point. Yeah, for sure. No, they're definitely. I mean, I know it exists out there, even with all the different markets and stuff too. Anywhere where you could find an edge, like even the TV show markets or just different things like that. Even I don't know. Information's available. So
Yeah. All right, Kenny. So, anything else from you? Anything that we should be kind of keeping an eye out. Yeah, whatever. Send us off.
No, I appreciate being on here. Definitely want to hop on here more often and maybe do some trading with you and stuff too. Yeah, just hit me up if you need anything Phantom related. Definitely collecting feedback. So if there's anything you're running into, if you're a Phantom user and you're watching this, feel free to hit me up, DM me, or
Yeah, guys, if you use crypto, like Kenny works for Phantom, so hit him up, follow him if you ever have an issue. If you want to stay on the forefront of what they're doing,
Yeah.
you know, I think it's a great company. So keep an eye out. And yeah, I like talking to Kenny because I like keeping young cats around. You know, they keep me young. Although he's got a kid now, so he's getting old fast, dude. He's getting old fast.
Yeah, going quick. I played in that baseball league this Sunday in sprinting. I could feel it in my my groin area for
Oh
sure.
yeah,
So,
dude, those sprints. If you're
my
not working
hammies,
your
too.
hamstrings, yeah, you
Yeah,
gotta be careful with that.
Can't blow a hammy. So
You know what you
hopefully
need? I wish I could spin my camera around. I have a back extension behind my computer, which is
Like
just
one of
like
these?
exactly, because if you do that and you do it properly, you're pulling up from your hamstrings. You're not lifting your back, you're pulling up from the back side chain or the back chain of your body, and your hamstrings just get lit up in such a good way to where like when you get off it, your body's like ready. You know what I mean? And it's
Yeah.
super cheap. They're super cheap. Like you just like keep it in your wherever, and before you go play, just fire off like 30 reps. And then your legs will be like good to go.
Yeah, no, I've definitely been doing those more often actually, just for lower back purposes mainly.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, just a lot. It's easy to get like front forward with a lot of these, workouts and stuff,
Yeah.
and that like muscle,
Yeah,
especially if you're
everything's
not
like front dominated, right?
right, and if you're not deadlifting too, right? Like, I
Yeah.
feel like this is a better form of deadlifting. Like, if I just did this instead of deadlifting with weights, or whatever, it's
Yeah.
still building.
And you
that,
can
like,
hold a
lower-
weight too, like yeah, I agree. I don't really lift heavy anymore. I just try to be able to move, and my body is in shambles, so just trying to navigate without getting absolutely wrecked,
Right, we're on that knees over toes mobility mindset
Oh
nowadays.
yeah, walking backwards everywhere.
Yeah, I do that stuff every now and then. 5 minutes backwards on an incline treadmill just to get the knees.
Bro, if you are falling apart, I'm fucked, because you're just like a mobile guy who's young, and if you're falling apart, what is somebody like me gonna do?
Yeah,
Dude, I'm toast.
I'm not all the way there yet, but yeah, I don't know. I think of like the age of
toast.
like professional athletes, right? And it's like 30 years old is like he's not in his prime, but he can still compete, or whatever, for a lot of these things. But yeah, I don't know. I guess LeBron was still in his prime at 30, so we could use that as
All right, last thing I on LeBron. Speaking of golf, like he is putting a YouTube golf channel together now. I don't know if you saw that, but he's moving into golf content. I find it funny that all these athletes are getting into golf. That's why it's the greatest sport. It's proving it.
Yeah.
It's the greatest sport. And all the basketball guys who probably said fuck golf before, now they play it and they're like, oh my God, this is the greatest sport.
I understand it.
Yeah. Now what's sad is, right, I'm turning 40 next fall, right? So I booked I set up a trip to this. Like my number one bucket list place to play golf is Bandon Dunes. Now, if you've never looked at Bandon Dunes, you could go look it up. Just Google it. It's this amazing coastal Oregon golf complex made for golfers. It's epic. There's no golf carts. You got to walk. You got to get caddies. All there is to do there is golf, eat, drink, golf, eat, drink, golf, eat, drink. That's it. And I have it set up, right? I'm getting all pumped or whatever. What's the second video I see this motherfucker LeBron making on YouTube? It's him at Bandon Dunes, of course. Just
really?
stealing my swag. I'm like, this guy probably has no I had to book this thing over a year out. He probably makes a phone call and they're just like, oh. Don't they know I trade meme coins and stocks, bro? Can't they hook me up? What's the deal?
Right. But if you're up there golfing and LeBron James shows up and he wants to golf at Bandon Dunes, you're not gonna give up your spot for him. You're not gonna be like, "Oh, LeBron, you got it."
No, I'm gonna play with him.
You're gonna play with
I'm
him.
gonna say, look, bro,
maybe
I got some.
Maybe that's what happened. Maybe
look, we'll flip a coin. One of us will leave, and you could play with us, right? And you just got to gamble. But I'll play with him because I'm not that great at golf, but I know I'm better than LeBron. So
Oh,
that's all. That's
just
all I
straight up.
need. You know. But give him a year, he'll probably be way better than me. You know.
Yeah. No,
So
it's cool to see them all get into it though, for sure.
all right, man.
All
So
right.
I'll catch you later. We'll bring you on again, and thanks for hopping on. Just hit the like leave button where in the place I set you, and I'll see if it pops off screen.
All right. I'm hitting now. Later, y'all.
Cheers. See ya. All right, there we go. So that was Kenny Loaded, good friend of mine. Hard worker in this space too. So let me go see what is popping off in markets, if anything. Yeah, thanks, Unbuilt. Yeah, he's cool. I like getting perspectives from different places for different things. Like I'll talk to a crypto guy, I'll talk to a futures guy, I'll talk to a guy who's just a long-term investor. I just like kind of pulling from everybody and learning new things, you know. And I'll try to get a bunch of different people out here as we go. There's just a lot of cool people out there in this space. Let's go take a peek at markets, see what's going on. So we've had the VIX rise just a little bit over the last couple days, but again, this is one of those things where if stocks were to continue to make lows, you could see VIX start to spike. And I always treat 20 and 30 as like really important levels where, you know, have we seen a fundamental shift to where I could expect volatility to continually topple over and blow out? And whether or not that will continue. If not, I like to generally use 20 area as a fading opportunity to put risk back on the table. Same thing with the upper 20s, but once it does get in the 30s and up, that's where shit really pops off, and that's where you'll see me just trading all day. Here. You can see we've only had a few moments in time where that really happens, you know. Yeah, Bill, I agree. Not done so much trading wise, but I like the concept of talking to people in different careers and specialties, stepping outside of your lane. Yeah, this is why I like to consume a lot of content or talk to a lot of people about different things. And I could figure out, like, all right, because trading analogies live everywhere. And it's like, how can I take a mindset shift or an outlook or something and build it into my trading? Right. Another book I really liked called Range. I forget the author, but range is basically like demystifying the idea that like jack of all trades is bad, right? If you can be somebody who's good at a lot of different things, maybe not great at one thing, that's not always bad. In fact, like Roger Federer was like one of the examples in the book where he didn't even play tennis until he was like in his teens. He played all different sports and then took a lot of different, you know, hand-eye and rhythm and speed and everything from other sports, brought it into tennis, and then put it all together. That's kind of how I approach markets in general, is trying to bring a lot of things together rather than being a vertical specialist in one thing. So synthesizing or distilling information down across a lot of different ideas to come up with my own. So on a long-term perspective for gold here, it is kind of a spicy spot. we could see, look at it this way. This is one of those spots where I'm like, all right, we're either gonna sell off pretty aggressively in metals to me and like go retest and then go, or we're just gonna rip. One of the two. Right now, I'm not long gold or silver. I had a pretty good trade in there off of these lows, but right now I'm a little bit just like waiting. I am still in copper, however. Copper was looking great, threatening a breakout again. Like if we make like a new low or break some of these lows here down at like 620, I'm probably gonna get out just because it could fall back quite farther. But I do want my position to be kind of on still at the moment. And then if we break out to the upside and have like some closes above that, I want to get like super long copper. That's something I'm watching. Yeah, I actually know a few South Africans, some of my good friends, and I agree, they grew up doing a lot of different things. So yeah, that's how I like to approach life, and I feel like it served me well. Let's see if there's any other interesting charts out there. The Japanese 10-year also at a high again. I mean, this thing is wild. This thing is wild. Looks like it wants to just keep going higher. The yen carry trade continues. Let's go look at the yen, actually. All right, so the yen, this is where they had intervention recently. We've talked about this on the Global Flows live stream quite a bit. But we had intervention by the Bank of Japan, and then we had the day Besant talked about buying more of the yen and supporting Japan. That was a sell the news event since then, and the yen has been, you know, heading straight back down. So we'll see what happens there. If they're going to continually defend it or let it just sell off again. Don't know at the moment. Oh, energy. This is something that a lot of people have been watching. Energy is about to make all-time highs. Energy sector. Again, energy is like limited at the moment, right? Or the thought of it in the future is limiting. So this has been something that's consolidated for almost 20 years, broken out, retested, and is now about to make an all-time high. We could see that also run quite a bit. Uranium is something I've been watching. Another chart that looks really spicy. This is another position I currently have on. I'm on sides a little bit. I got long kind of around here. And I kind of have good risk reward here. This is a trade that like I want to let breathe. Stop out if we go below here. And I'm going to let it run otherwise. Just because like the potential is there. And there's like news catalyst, right? Supportive nuclear stuff has been more frequent than negative nuclear stuff, especially as we kind of change the narrative for people. And Eli Lilly is another stock I really like. I think this continues higher. We'll see. I think this stock goes to a gazillion. Unbuilt. Uranium, I got some position long too. Yep, I like it. Adding on to gold, copper is something I'd like, depending on the macro backdrop. Yep, that's something we're monitoring every day. I don't think it's like a rush at this point, but yeah. AC, if any of us tried to get hired by a desk, do they steal trade ideas from smaller traders? Probably depends where you're going and how they operate, right? Like where I was, no, they're not stealing ideas. But if you're going on like Robinhood or something, and like they're stealing your trade and your float or your flow and selling that off to people. So you're just always the product in this fucking world. You know what I mean? It's always the fucking product. But like again, like I don't think until you're making millions and millions of dollars that you have to worry about anybody like stealing your trade ideas. And that's the thing with trading is like your trade ideas, like even a good one, goes away. Like a trade is only good for so long until sharp people figure it out, and then you come attack the same trade together, and all the edge gets dissipated, and then you have to go find another trade. And that's like a huge thing, and I've talked about this before. Is like trading is your ability to go find new trades and new edge consistently. You have to believe that you could do that, or else you're going to put too much weight into single trades or single strategies and say, like, this is my silver bullet. And if you can't, you're kind of fucked. You're limiting yourself. You know what I mean? Because that is going to matter too much in that moment that works out, because deep down you don't believe that you could go find other trades. You know what I mean? I think it's more about being able to consistently find opportunity. Unbuilt. Feel like in many domains, not only in trading, there's always people happy to take off of you if it could benefit them. But time window makes stealing trades harder. Yeah. Yeah. Think about where you're the product in your life. It's like everywhere. You know what I mean? We just live in this extractive world. I just think we got to like really let things go that are out of our control and just focus on getting better. Oil on H1 looks bullish. Eventually rip to 94 if a breakout. Is H1 mean hourly? That 1 hour chart? Just hit me with it. Tell me if that's what you mean. I haven't updated this in a while. How do I even draw this line? I don't know. I don't really draw fucking lines too much. I just put these slanted lines there to build context for me. Yeah, sure. But like the thing is, even if it's bullish, like you are fighting an administration that wants lower oil prices. So you got to be really tapped into news that could send it down $2 at any moment. You know what I mean? So sure, you could be in a long position here in gold, but I think it's like, do you really believe it's going to go up into the like 90s again? If so, like, all right. But like, do you really think that the Strait of Hormuz closure is going to continue, that there's not going to be any new innovative routing or petroleum reserves or whatever? Like, you know, sure. But like, to me, this is like a coin toss. Could go up, could go down. But at any moment, they could kind of go and say, like, we've made a lot of improvements with Iran, or like, we've, you know, acquired certain barrels per whatever in Venezuela, or I don't know, you know, like, and it could set it down. You could just lose all your profits in the moment. So to me right now, I'd rather be at more of an extreme. Right now, I don't feel like we're at an extreme. We're just kind of in this blasé range. That's how I feel about oil at the moment. Same with Brent. It's like, I don't know, man. Like, do you really think it's going to go break above 115? What are we hoping for if you're long? Are you scalping it? Are you swing trading it? Is this a long-term bet? Everything has different answers. If you're trading multiple assets intraday, don't you need multiple screens to track trend line breaks? I mean, if that's how you trade, sure. If you trade trend line breaks, then yeah, you probably need to have alerts set up for that and just be watching all day. You know? I don't really do that too much. I mean, I have an idea if a trend breaks or something, but then I go into the order books and I look for more edge than that. Again, like a trend break is very level 1. It's like, I feel like you just get chopped up quite a bit. I think it's fine for like longer term, maybe swing trades, long-term investing, stuff like that. But trend breaks on a very short time frame, I need more than a trend break. I need a trend break, some support or resistance, some kind of vague anomaly / edge that helps me even more. What's go look at wheat. We haven't been looking at that in a while. Been talking about this on stream too. That's another one I like. Wheat looks good to me. But we'll see. Seasonally speaking, looks strong. But a lot of the El Nino factor is going to be in the mix here. Yeah. I got a mini fridge in here too. Water. What if I just started ripping like Negronis in here on stream? Ooh. By the way, if there's anything else, like I'm trying to think through this stream, by the way, like, is there anything else you'd like to see on the screen or some like information that I could switch to that would, you know, help you guys in any way? Let me know. I could work on some of that stuff. So we'll be able to go through kind of like what's moving, economic calendar, things like that. That'll be easy. I might even code some stuff up live. Hopefully we'll be able to trade perps at some point. Because guys, like ultimately here, I want to be able to show you trades that I'm taking. Like while I'm in positions and stuff, right? Like that's what I know people like. That's what I like. But I also don't want to just become some YouTube guy that lives and dies by the position. You know what I mean? I want you guys to come on and hang out because I got some good takes, some good alpha. It's chill, and we can all make it together. You know what I mean? And hopefully, I get some good stuff for you when it comes to opportunities. Not financial advice, of course. Just saying. Havard, what was your best trade? That is a big question. Do you mean like in my history? Ever? Is that what you're talking about? That's my favorite. Happened in poker too. Poker and trading. What's the most you've won or lost in a day? Tell me, Matt, so I can judge you. Let me judge you based on the number you tell me. See, my best trade was probably not my best number. That makes sense. There have been trades where there were easier trades and won me more money. But my best trade, I would say, was probably the oil trade when it went negative in 2020. I shorted oil under zero. Let me say that again. I shorted oil when it was under $0 and kept short until it was like minus $20, I think. And then I flipped long after the settlement and it was like minus $24 or something, and I wrote it back to $0. And that was a beautiful trade. I would even use the term majestic. It was a majestic trade. Unbuilt mini fridge is an office upgrade. Yeah, I think every office needs a mini fridge, and I think a treadmill, walking treadmill. Mine is the lifespan one. It's fairly large and dependable for big boys like me. Big boys. Flows doesn't need a treadmill really. He could use his office as a lap pool basically because he's such a tiny frog. Perhaps discuss a successful trade from the past while the market is quiet. Entry signals, exit thoughts. Yeah, I'm hoping to do that a little bit more with actually the ability to show you by bringing up the actual trade. That's probably in a few months. We're working on the ability to do that, and I think it will provide some stuff you've never really seen before ever. If you're not really an order books person. We'll see. And yeah, I got a lot of trade stories, but I'll dive a little bit into that oil one a little bit more just for fun. Is like nobody even knew if oil could go below zero, which was crazy. But once it did, once it broke, the order books were completely empty. Nobody was willing to buy it. Nobody was really willing to sell it. Nobody really knew what to do. But once it started falling, it went to like minus 10 cents, minus 50 cents, minus $1. It was like, all right, this thing is just going to keep falling. And once it was confirmed that yeah, you could trade it negative, it was like time to go. And it would just go so fast, so far, because all the market makers were turned off, right? Highly volatile environments, they turn off. They're like, look, I don't want anything to do with this. That's not what we've built this system for. Nobody builds systems for a negative, highly volatile oil environment. They're not, so they're just off. So it's just the people who are willing to like go mano y mano in there and just battle it out. And that's what we did. Yeah, oil. Why short at zero? Exactly. Why would you short at zero? Because it went to minus $28. That's why. Nuts. Yeah. And look, there's epic trades like that, and then there's small trades that are just as fun, you know what I mean? Like There have been trades of the last 2 weeks that have been fun trades. I haven't like had any crazy winners or anything, but like there's fun stuff going out there. Metals are really moving. Gold is really moving. Cattle's moving. Wheat's moving. Oil's moving. Stocks, I would say more or less. I don't see much edge in there right now. Maybe if you're trading the settlements, but yeah. Global warming is a farce. Don't get me started. So I'm probably end the stream soon, but like, yeah, pay attention to Bitcoin here. It's 64.8. So we didn't hit the 65.4 that I was hoping for by the end of the stream, but it is threatening, guys. It is threatening. And if you see stocks catch a bid or anything catch a bid and volatility not keep spiking, like, pretty sure it's going to happen here soon. I'm going to stream tomorrow again. And I'll be back here. So if you want to come chill again, please feel free to do so. I will try to get other people on as well here and there. Chat markets, chat life. Hope you guys kind of enjoyed how this was. I really do appreciate the people who jump into the comments and ask questions and talk about stuff, because that's, you know, if you are a guy in markets and you are working from home or whatever, that's what lacks, right? That's the trading floor that existed before. I could always turn to my left or my right, shoot the shit. And that doesn't really exist anymore, right? I'm here in my office solo with my penguin, my Pudgy. Shout out to the Pudgy Penguins. And yeah, and you guys. So thanks, guys. Thanks for coming out. And I will I'll catch you tomorrow. Probably do 7:30 PST once again. That time seems kind of nice. Gets me, I can trade the open, I can focus for a little bit, and then I can come chill. All right. Toodaloo, motherfuckers.